Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today's video is all about sponges. So I've been thinking about making this video for such a long time. I don't know why I've been waiting for so long. Today I finally have all the sponges that I have tried right in front of me. Then we're gonna talk about them out. I have 16 sponges sitting right in front of me right now. Then I'm putting them into groups. First of all, I'm gonna put them into two large groups. These two groups are microfiber sponges and non-microfiber sponges. I didn't really put subgroups for microfiber sponges simply because they are so new. Then they're very similar. But the regular sponges have been out there for quite some time. Then of course the beginner was the Beautyblender, right? Then I put them into 1, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 subgroups. After the Beautyblender, so many companies started making these sponges. Then they are somehow different in the texture, firmness, performance, that kind of things. That's why I put them into, the traditional sponges into subgroups. Please don't get me wrong, I don't think any of these sponges are super bad. So the reason we like sponges is because they apply foundation so much better than a lot of brushes. And for dry skin girls like me, in winter, damp sponges may be the only way to apply foundation. Otherwise, we are gonna break out like crazy. I don't know, maybe it's just me, or I believe there are people like me out there for sure. Just may not be a lot, but there are definitely people like me. But anyways, I'm gonna talk about the Beautyblender first, since they are the first ones. So I do have multiple ones, but this one I think it's not the original. Original I think is a lighter pink. This one's called a Queen. Yeah, so beauty blenders are known for their softness, and if you wet them, they're gonna enlarge, but all sponges do that, so it's not really different. So what I want to do is to compare the texture of these sponges. This sponge, beauty blenders apparently work very well for foundation. I'm sorry, because I do not use these sponges to apply eyeshadows. I think it's weird. I know they also do powders. You can also use them for powders. However, because it's winter, I have very dry skin, I cannot use powder, or I haven't found a powder that would not exaggerate my texture. So I stopped using powder altogether. I just use some concealer to kind of like highlight my under eye area sometimes, not even a lot of times, because sometimes my skin just doesn't work with it. Then concealer would exaggerate my texture as well. So, but anyways, or maybe I just haven't found this concealer that works for me yet. But yeah, I'm gonna keep digging. But anyways, bottom line is I only use these sponges for foundation and compare their performance. So yeah, Beautyblender is apparently very good. Then I have a second group sponges with 3 sponges. One is from Real Technique. So these sponges, then it represents a second subgroup sponges. So these sponges are denser compared to Beautyblender. So Beautyblender is totally softer, and these are all dry. They're not wet. When they're wet, of course, they're going to be softer. But but still, when they're wet, Beautyblender is the softest. So these are going to be more stiff. But I have additional complaint about these Real Technique sponges is that they're so fragile. I think I have used 3 of these, then 2 of these were torn during first wash. I know you are gonna say you are so rough on these sponges, you are supposed to be gentle. Yes, I know that. However, I wash all of these sponges in the same rough way, then only these sponges are damaged. So that says something. Well, I don't want to say these are the only ones, because I'm gonna say something even worse about one company's sponges. But anyways, let's focus on this one. In this subgroup, there are 2 more sponges I want to talk about. This one is from ColourPop. So the ColourPop one is very similar to the Real Technique sponges, which are in terms of softness and performance, they are very similar. But I do feel like the ColourPop sponges are stronger than the Real Technique sponges. Then the last one is from a company called Becky. Maybe it's Becky. It's Bakey, maybe. I actually, so this company is super cheap. I think I bought these from Amazon. Then it costs $9 and like $10 for 5 sponges. These are like $2 per piece. So these are like very cheap. I know they also have, at first I discovered this brand on Instagram, then I realized that they also sell Amazon. That's why I purchased these on Amazon. These are actually pretty good sponges. They're very similar to ColourPop sponges. They're relatively stronger compared to Real Technique ones. So all these 3 sponges perform pretty similarly. I think they are slightly worse compared to Beautyblender, but they still work very well. So if you don't want to pay $20 on the Beautyblender, then these are very good dupes. I probably would suggest ColourPop and the Becky over Real Technique because of the fragileness. I also have this sponge from the company called Authentica, maybe. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce that word, but anyways. I don't know if I got a bad sponge, but this sponge was completely torn during first wash. Like I was literally trying to wet it, then try to squeeze out the water, then it just it went apart. I don't know if you can see on the camera where did it go. So do you see that? I hope you can see it, but literally I was just squeezing it in my hand. Then when I let it go, it was completely torn. I don't know what to say. Then I didn't even get to use these sponges because no. But you can say I'm too rough on these sponges, but still I wash them the same way. I squeeze them the same way. Yeah, no. I don't know how to recommend these sponges to anybody, really. But if you had a good experience with these sponges, let me know. I'm really curious. So I'm going to talk about the subgroup 3 first. I only have 1 sponge. So where did I get it? I got it from TJ Maxx. I don't even know what brand was that. So I looked online, then I couldn't find anything. It seems like it was just a beauty product supply company. These are very, very cheap. I think I paid $9. Then I got 5 big ones and 2 smaller ones. The reason I bought it because my son broke the packaging. I don't really want to complain too much about these sponges because they do perform pretty well. The only thing is they are very, very stiff. Like if you wet them and let them sit to dry, it could take 3 days to dry. So I think these sponges are gonna grow bacteria very easily because of that. We know that bacteria do need moisture to grow. And also, look at this. Because they are so dense, then when they take up a product, it's so difficult to wash them out. So honestly, I think these Becky sponges are around the same price as these ones. Maybe slightly expensive. This one maybe $2 per piece. This one maybe $1.70, something. But I wouldn't recommend these. So if you are really on a budget, then go for these Becky ones. I think they are better. I skipped 1 brand. I put these sponges in between the subgroup 2 and 3. It's because in terms of the softness, the stiffness, and the performance, it's kind of like sitting in between the subgroup 2 and 3. So it's slightly more soft compared to this, this crabby one. I don't want to say it's crabby because it has defects, but it does perform not bad. So yeah, I think this one's pretty stiff. This thing is from the company called Primolux. But anyways, so this company is actually very, very cute. Their sponges are very creative, I'm gonna say. And the packaging is very cute. See? There's a face. Then coming with each order, they also have this little card and it says, "Hello, nice to meet you." And on the back it says, "Super excited for you to try out special sponges," or some. Yeah, there are more. I'm not gonna read it out. So this is a very cute brand. I really like their ideas, and honestly, I think this brand is very creative in terms of their sponge design. Even though I do think their sponges can be better. So this is actually a color changing sponge. If you hold it in hand to warm it, then it turns white. Then when it cools down, it's going to be pink again. I think this sponge is called peachy. Then this one is called silly. I think it's called silly is because it's mostly a sponge. Then it has a piece of a silicone pad on top. I do like the idea. I think it's a very I don't want to say practical. I think the design is very good because it's designed to apply product with a sponge at the same time. If you have some area that you do need a silicone pad, then you can do it. However, I think the causes some problem. First of all, personally, I don't really like using silicone to do foundation. It makes me feel like that my foundation is just sitting on top of my skin. It doesn't really go into my pores. So yeah, I don't know if it's the problem for this specific silicone pad, or it's just the same thing for all silicone pads out there. And also because these are two different material. When they are coming together, sometimes it causes a problem. Like this sponge is easily torn on the edge in between the sponge and the silicone pad. So I think the design is good, it's cute, but not too practical, in my opinion. You may like it, but it's just my opinion. So I am done with all the traditional sponges. Which one do I like most? Yeah, of course, a Beautyblender. It's the most expensive one too. I think these Primelux ones are the most expensive ones. These are $6 per piece, other than the Beautyblender. I'm not very sure about the ColourPop sponge because I bought it in a set. I think the whole set was like $18 or something, or maybe I bought it on sale. So I wouldn't think that one is super expensive. But if you want to ask me to compare the balance between price and the quality, then I would say the Becky, because they are so inexpensive and at the same time they perform pretty well. There's one more thing I want to say about the Beautyblender is that they have pretty pores in the sponge. That's why it dries so quickly. Yeah, literally wet them, let them sit overnight, they're gonna go to their original shape. That's important because like what I said, bacteria need water to grow. Then if your Beautyblenders dry quickly, then it's gonna prevent bacteria growth, right? So it's very good. Now I'm done with my traditional sponges. Then let's talk about microfiber sponges. We know that microfiber sponges first started with this company called Junicom, I believe, and they have 4 different types of sponges. They're all $6 per piece. Then the first one is the blue one, like this. Of course, this one is wet because I used it today. So now it's very soft, of course. When it's not wet, it's not as soft as a Beautyblender, but still soft enough, in my opinion. If you want to ask me comparing these microfiber sponges to the Beautyblender, which one I prefer, I'm gonna say these microfiber ones. I know there are people who don't like these because they're not as soft. And some people say it's difficult to clean. However, I do not agree because I find these pretty easy to clean. I am pretty surprised that these sponges are only like $6 per piece. They do have a patent on this. I think they perform very well. First of all, they don't take as much as product as a Beautyblender. I know compared to other sponges in that, in the traditional sponges I just talked about. Beautyblender is the one takes the least product, probably because of a pore size. When the pore size is bigger, then the product being sucked up into the sponge is easier to release. But for these microfiber sponges, they have a different mechanism. They simply, I think it's because the microfiber surface is so dense, then the product is difficult to be sucked into the sponge. That's why it saves the product. I am not very sure how do they perform that well. Maybe because like that what they are saying that this the Brussels on top, this microfiber has tiny little Brussels, then the Brussels really help to press the product into the skin, into the pore. That's why it performs very well. I personally really like these. But like what I said, there are 4 different sponges, actually 3 different types. That's one. I also have a pink one. This pink one is actually exactly the same than the original, so they're just a color difference. But in terms of the softness and the size of a Brussels, they are very similar. And also, no, they're the same. And also the denseness. Junicone have two more sponges, microfiber sponges. The yellow one, I think it's called Lemon Drop. It says the Brussels is 30% softer compared to the original. Then the purple one is 50% softer compared to the original. However, if you want to ask me which one performs the best, I don't know why. I'm gonna say the original. I really like the original. I think that maybe because these Brussels are too soft, then it has a hard time to press the product into the pores. So, or into the texture of the skin, maybe. I am not 100% sure, but in my opinion, the original works the best. Just for fun, I purchased more microfiber sponges outside of a Junicone. This Primalox brand also has some microfiber sponges. This sponge is called Velvety. Then, so this one is kind of like the lavender sponge from the Junicone, the purple one. So these are very, very soft. For the same reason, I don't think these perform as well as the original. Don't get me wrong. I haven't used any bad microfiber sponges yet. I'm just comparing them based on like a very, very small differences. I was just super curious. I purchased these from Becky as well. So these are just like the Lemon Drop from Junicone. So I still don't think they are better than original. I also went crazier, so I went to AliExpress to purchase something from China. So this one is from the company called WWCosmetics. These are just like the original Junicone, so they actually perform pretty well. And these are cheaper too. I believe these are like $2 or $2.50, something like that. But they actually perform very well. So if you want to save some money, you probably can go on AliExpress and order these. The only thing is, it takes forever for these to be delivered. I think I waited for at least a month. I also got this one from AliExpress as well. It's a very funny shape. I don't think this one is as good as these. But you know what? People may be different. If you are younger, then you have less texture. You might find that these sponges work pretty well together. I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking about my opinion and how these sponges perform on me. So these are all 16 sponges that I tried. If you want to ask me which one won, then I would say the Junicone original. But these work pretty well too. If you want to wait for the shipping and save some money, then go for AliExpress and then look for the brand called 020. However, like what I said, I only tried these for foundation. It's just for foundation performance. I'm gonna save these sponges and wait for summer, or maybe when the weather is warmer and more humid, then I'll start to use powder with these and see how they perform with the powder. And by the time I may make another review for these sponges, I may have different opinions for these sponges for powder. I'm interested in knowing what I would think. I hope you are as interested as I am. So this is all I want to talk about today. I hope this video was at least a little bit helpful for your sponge selection. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I do a lot of beauty box unboxing, beauty product reviews, makeup tutorials, and sometimes DIYs. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.